In this video, we're going to focus on setting up our email inside of Inspire Youth Assistant and Children's Assistant. We're going to do that by going to the Utilities tab at the top, and then we'll go down to User Settings and Email Setup. Now, if you're unfamiliar with these settings, you might want to talk to your system administrator or look at your Outlook to gather this information. You may even need to call your email or web service provider to get this information, depending on who you're using. Now, if you're using a service like Yahoo, you're not going to be able to send email through the SMTP settings using that service unless you have their paid service, which I think is a premium package that you can get from them. But otherwise, if you're receiving your email currently in Outlook or Thunderbird or something similar, you can set that email up inside of Inspire to send out on your behalf. And what this allows to happen is when you send out your email, when they reply, it'll come back to you, but it sends it from your address. So you'll have to give Inspire some kind of SMTP address to send email from. Otherwise, you can use Mappy, which is an older format, and we don't really recommend it, but we do have it available. What this does is it actually sends it over to Outlook or Outlook Express, and then the email is sent from there, but you usually have to click yes or OK to every email as it goes out. So if you send 100 emails, you're going to click yes to each one just because of a security feature inside of Outlook. So to get around that, we recommend using the SMTP settings. It's the best option. You just simply put in your name or what your information is for your user. In this case, it's my email address. And then also my email address is the same thing as my name. Now you can put this in as your individual name as well. It's just whatever you want to refer to this account as. And next thing, when you click on SMTP, it enables this tab here at the top. This is where you can put in the SMTP information. You can usually gather this from your Outlook, or again, you can get it from your email service provider or administrator there at the church. You'll need the SMTP server. It's usually something like SMTP dot whatever the email server is. Then you'll need to know your username and your password for logging in to the SMTP and whether it requires authentication or not. And usually, just depending on how your setup is, you'll be able to know what port number you need to insert, and then if any of these other options need to be checked. After you've done all this, depending, it might open up the tab for incoming servers for the POP. That's if your server requires you to use like a POP3 login. Otherwise, you can click on Test Email Settings. It'll bring up the TCS email test window, and you can see that it has attempted one and completed one, and so the email test actually passed. So we can go ahead and close this window, and everything is working correctly. And you should receive an email from us when you click on Test Email Settings. It comes from Inspire Youth Assistant or Children's Assistant, and it'll come to your address, and it should tell you that everything was completed just fine, and your email is all up and running. So this should help you get your email set up and going. Again, if you have questions, refer to your system administrator, or you can look at your Outlook, or you can contact our support department.